Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
If I activate this control, the outside airlock will open and she will be sucked into oblivion. Do you think you can kill me and then save her before she's pulled out into space? It's a horrible way to die. Besides, isn't negotiation the Jedi way?
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Heather Allred, and this is WSTR Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 87. Today we're doing another Imperial Inspection segment on Cad Bane. Joining me this evening, who's the anchor, if you will, of the podcast, Mr. Todd Hoffman.
Oh, now I'm Anchorman? Awesome.
I mean, it's like when you anchor a bowling team, you're the one at the end that always just swoops in there and saves the day.
Saves the day. Well, I'm happy to anchor this one, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's all good. No, yeah. Aaron's not with us tonight, so we pour one out for the homies. We miss you, Aaron, but he has the night off. So
that's right.
But we got this. We got this. We're totally got this.
So yeah, may be some limited dad jokes, but we'll see what we can do for everybody.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So, well, you can check us out on social media, WSTR Media, all lowercase, all one word. Please email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com or leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR, also known as 630-557-9787. You reach out to us, we will respond. We'll highlight you on air. Please do so. And
like Carla G from last week.
What?
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you could email us, comment, tweet us, whatever, direct message us. We'll get that message out on the airwaves.
Yes. And if this is your first episode listening to us and you want to catch our whole back catalog of episodes, visit our website at www.wstrmedia.com. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out when we go live again, and you can catch live podcasting. It's kind of insane and kind of fantastic. So that's
we'll be back live soon. Soon, very soon. Yes.
That's right. It's sort of like a hiatus of a television show. We got to get back into the fall season lineup. So stay with us, folks.
Yeah, that's true. See, fall TV's coming out, so right. we're back for sweeps weeks or whatever.
For sure. And that's easy. That's just at youtube.com/WSTR Media. And so today's podcast, as many of our other podcasts have been sponsored by the wonderful people at Audible, where for a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/WSTR, you yourself can get a free audiobook download. Free.
Tell me more.
So Audible has over 425,000 titles. Did you get that? 425,000 titles to choose from. And so
many books.
And you can download that on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle, your MP3 player. And just for coming and checking it out, you're helping support our podcast, and you get a free audiobook. It's
forever.
A win-win, people. Win-win. And if after the 30 days you're like, I don't really like this anymore, you just unsubscribe and you move on with your life. Move on. But don't move on. Stay with us.
Yeah, don't move. Stay with us. Exactly.
So again, audibletrial.com/WSTR. Free audiobook. Plethoras to choose from.
Yeah, you can choose a Star Wars book if you want, but you don't have to. There's like, you could, underwater basket weaving, whatever you want. It's all right there.
Have you tried the underwater basket weaving, Todd?
I have not,
Oh, okay.
but I'm sure there's a book. I'm sure there's a book out there for that skill. Yes.
Wasn't sure if you were trying to tell us something.
No.
And lastly, the next best way to support us is by following all of our socials, so that way you can be fully updated on all the cool things we're doing, which includes merch. We got merch. We got some t-shirts. Enjoy your morning cup of Joe. And people will be like, hey, what's that on your mug? And you say, it's this really awesome Star Wars podcast. You should check it out. So do it. So check out our social medias.
Do it.
WSTR Media, all lowercase, all one word.
That's right. Coming up, we're going to talk about alcoholic beverages. Battlefront 2. They might go hand in hand. I'm not sure. And more people are just joining the episode 9 cast. Yeah. So stay tuned for more on that a little bit. But up next, Cantina Chat. All right, Heather, what is going on with you? No, it's fine. You could do that.
I was cantina chatting. I was getting ready for it.
Yeah. You were getting ready for it. Yes, exactly. So what is going on with you this week? Anything fun?
Yeah. So we are recording the weekend of the Labor Day holiday weekend. And so I went and closed out the Bristol Renaissance Fair in the rain.
It's already over?
It's already over? It closes tomorrow. So
oh my gosh.
Tomorrow's its last day, Labor Day Monday. So
okay.
Went and geeked out there a bit. I was watching.
What did you dress up as?
I dressed up as a civilian, as in I did not go in costume. It was raining, and so
lame.
I know.
Lame.
I know. Fail. But
yeah, I know.
I did purchase a pillow at the tapestry shop of a cat in a suit.
Fantastic.
Because I'm that person.
That is so cat lady, but it's so awesome at the same time.
So good.
It's so you. It's so you.
Me. And that's the thing. And that's what I appreciate about the people in my life. They're like, Heather, that is so you. I would never put that in my house. And I'm like, good. I want it in my house.
Right. Just own it. And you're owning it. That's great.
And then yesterday, my friend Deb, who's been mentioned on the podcast in the past.
Hi, Deb.
Shout out to Deb. We watched the Captain America Winter Soldier movie and had all kinds of geeky conversation down that realm of things. So
that is my favorite Marvel movie.
Is it?
Yes, that is my favorite one.
Oh,
I love it. I love it.
Oh man, you missed it when Captain goes Bucky and the Winter Soldier's like, who's Bucky? And your heart just rips in like 100 pieces.
I know. Oh my gosh, I love that one. That's one of my favorites.
So yeah,
it is my favorite.
And
cool.
I have tomorrow off from work. Thanks Labor Day holiday.
Right.
And I will be gathering all of my crochet supplies to make some upcoming characters, wink wink, for a possible giveaway, wink wink.
Oh boy. Wink wink. Wow.
So I don't want to spoil anything yet. So just keep listening.
Yes, you never know when you're please say that word again. Pikachu, Tarigami,
Amigurumi.
Thank you.
No problem.
It's not even a word. It's great. It's great. Yes.
So.
And we still have a Jar Jar to give away. So don't worry. Jar Jar will be back.
He is
Don't
wreaking
worry.
havoc in my home, people.
Misa want to leave. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's great, but he is being very protected from the cats, so no cats have harmed Jar Jar in any capacity.
Yeah. It would be very sad if the cats got to it and then like Jar Jar was just once again back to being like yarn,
Right?
Or missing a leg or something like that. You know? Yeah.
Oh man,
That's awesome.
Todd, what about you?
That's great. Watched Rogue One again with the fam.
Fun.
Love that movie. So we watched that this week. And working. I had a mishap with the old blaster. So I'm working on blaster number 2 right now. So I know. So that's my geekiness of the week. So just got a troop coming up in September sometime, so I gotta get this done, so I'll be ready for that.
Perfect.
So nothing too crazy this week, but I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you, Heather. Every day's a Star Wars day for me. So
it's true.
It's really like what's not the really it would be like, well, like Friday, I really didn't do Star Wars, but then like every other day I did Star Wars.
Sure.
But yeah, it's pretty much Star Wars day every day. So there you have it.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to our new segment of the week, the Twitter trash compactor. So
it's a mouthful, but it's one of my new faves.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're doing really is on the old Twitter is that we are doing a poll every week. So we start off a poll that kind of relates to the subject that we talked about.
Totally.
And so, yeah, it just kind of makes sense. So last week in episode 86, we talked about Mr. Boba Fett. So the question was like, what is your favorite Boba Fett costume? So you have 4 choices because unfortunately Twitter only allows you 4, so you have to be kind of specific.
Jeez, Twitter.
And it can't be terribly long. It's like got to be like, you think, oh, it's going to be like, you could write these whole questions. No, got to be really short and concise. So the question was, which version of Boba Fett would you is your favorite? So you had Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, Prototype, which is the white prototype that we kind of talked about last week. He's all in white and kind of looks like a stormtrooper.
Sure.
And then the holiday special, which he's carrying a trident, riding a brontosaurus looking dinosaur thing, and it's pretty amazing. And it's a totally different kind of paint scheme that Mr. Boba Fett has. Right. So those were your 4 choices.
How did that holiday special do, Tom?
It did 0%. No one liked the holiday special, which I'm surprised because it's unique. It's a unique paint scheme. Sure. It's very different. But Return of the Jedi won hands down.
Sure.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So no surprise there. I mean, he has a little bit more screen time, obviously, in Empire Strikes Back, but Return of the Jedi wins the old Twitter poll. Okay. So yeah, look for that. Yeah, look for that every week, and we will, read those results on our podcast the next week. So that is the new Twitter trash compactor segment. So there you go. All right, let's move on to our main topic.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right, Heather, yes. We are doing another Imperial Inspection.
I'm ready.
And it is about Cad Bane. And so when I brought this up to the group, we have a little Facebook chat that goes on, and, we're sharing news or whatever fun stuff, whatever Heather's cats are doing every day, whatever. We're doing all kinds of stuff, yes. But mostly it's related to Star Wars. Right. And I brought it up and I said, hey, why don't we kind of keep the bounty hunter theme going, and why don't we do Cad Bane? And your response, Heather, was
who?
Right. So, so Cad Bane is a Duros. Now, do you know what a Duros is, Heather? A species in Star Wars?
Before, no. Did I possibly go to Wikipedia? Yes.
Yes.
Because I wanted at least a visual of who we were talking about.
Right.
And so
right. That's good.
When
I like where your head's going.
Well,
I like where your head's going. I like what you're thinking.
I've made a commitment to myself and to my brother and to my fellow podcasters that I'm going to become educated however I can. So once I saw his image, I'm like, oh, I've seen other pictures of him. So I'm guessing the Duros is the species with the blue and the breathing apparatus thingies.
Yes.
And that's as far as I got.
So not the breathing apparatus thingy. That is more Cad Bane style.
Oh, okay.
But the Duros are featured in A New Hope in the Star Wars cantina scene, and they're two of the same. They're kind of wearing spacesuits. A lot of people are wearing spacesuits. It's a thing in the 70s and the things in a galaxy far, far away. And they're two aliens kind of standing up talking to each other. And what's unique about them is that one of them's got really long fingers, and the one guy's pointing at him and his fingers bent. It's very funny.
Interesting.
It's again, being Star Wars, it's 3 seconds. You gotta really look at it. But when they kind of pan around and, again, they're showing all the different aliens, they're two blue guys with the kind of red eyes.
Okay.
And they look, a Duros kind of looks like very, what you were saying, atypical, not the gray alien, but more, they do look very kind of, yep, that looks like an alien. So that's what a Duros is.
Okay.
So, if you're not sure, do what Heather does and Google Duros, and you'll see what he is. So yeah, that's what Cad Bane is. Wikipedia basically says Cad Bane was a Duros male bounty hunter in the galaxy during the Clone Wars. He was considered the leading bounty hunter in the galaxy due to a death of Jango Fett at the Battle of Geonosis. He specialized in fighting Jedi.
Ooh.
I know. It goes on to say, this is a quote from our good friend Dave Filoni, who is the supervising director of Clone Wars, did Rebels, and now is going to be doing Resistance. So, something you notice about George Lucas after a while is that he mentioned a name like Mace Windu in 1973 version of Star Wars, and then it pops up in 1999. So this, I guess, might have been an idea George had for a character, Cad Bane, way back when, and now he finally gets around to bringing him to the screen in the Clone Wars. So what's he talking about there? So if you're not familiar with this, but the original script, one of the first names, the actual first Star Wars name, like a character, was Mace Windu. So, but Mace Windu is never in the original trilogy, but that name pops up again as Samuel L. Jackson in The Phantom Menace. So that's what he's talking about. And so it sounds like Cad Bane was another one that was, bouncing around in George's skull there, and he finally brought it to fruition in the Clone Wars.
Fascinating.
What is fascinating about Mr. Cad Bane is he has this unique look. Mm-hmm. Again, like you mentioned, the kind of tubes kind of out of him, and he's got one of his unique features is his hat. Yeah, he's got this ginormous hat, and it's got a very Western vibe. I was going to
say very gunslinger. Like, yes.
Yeah, and we talked about that too. Like that's kind of Boba Fett's mantra too. It kind of has that Dirty Harry kind of spaghetti Western kind of feel. Well, you're pretty much on the mark here because it's based off of this guy named Angel Eyes. You're like, Angel Eyes, that doesn't sound mean or bad or anything like that. But yeah, this guy was a Western character in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is pretty fantastic movie, Western. And he's got a ridiculously large hat as well. And it's literally the same hat that like Mr. Cad Bane wears. So there you go. again, that's kind of one of the beauties of Star Wars. It takes a lot of stuff in real world and then applies it to our sci-fi space in the galaxy far, far away, and that's when the magic happens.
For
you know,
sure.
like, hey, that kind of looks familiar. You know, so the other thing is, you know, Cad Bane carries double pistols, very similar to Jango Fett, and kind of has that. You know, that's what Western cowboys kind of do too. You know, they have the double pistols because like one gun's not enough. You need two.
Oh, for sure.
You know, yeah. And instead of a jetpack like our Fett father and son combination, he has jet boots. No big deal.
What?
What?
No big deal at all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you have jet boots, rocket boots, I mean, you can't go wrong there. You know, so yeah, he was voiced in the Clone Wars by Corey Burton.
Okay.
And he also did the voice for Zero the Hutt and Count Dooku. So Zero the Hutt is that, if you remember, Heather, in the our little Clone Wars movie,
Yeah.
that was the one that Padme went to, and she was like kind of a like couldn't tell if it was like she's the one that kind of stole Little Stinky,
Right. Yes.
Jabba's son. Yeah. So, but yeah, Corey Burton voiced Zero the Hutt and Count Dooku.
Very
so
nice.
There you go. So, you know, there's that. I think also Filoni kind of teased about this before the cancellation that we were going to see a Cad Bane Boba Fett standoff. And
Dun, dun,
I know. Yeah, he kind of did this at the panel of Celebration in Orlando in 2017, and basically he said that this is how you find out how Boba Fett got his dent in his helmet. And
That's cool.
there you go. I know, right? But at last we didn't get to see it. But you know, they're always thinking that Dave Filoni's always thinking. He's also featured as graffiti because, you know, that's what they do. But in Star Wars Rebels, you see Cad Bane as like a graffiti in a graffiti form on the Ghost in one of the episodes. So Sabine's one of their graphic artists, and she likes to do a lot of, you know, paintings, and one of them was Cad Bane. So a nice little nod to Cad Bane. But since you don't know a lot about Cad Bane, and I thought it'd be kind of cool, Heather, to just kind of go through some of the quotes he says, because I think you could tell a lot from his character. Obviously, like with our good friend Boba Fett, he only had like 6 or 8 lines tops,
Correct.
You know, but Cad Bane's a little bit more chatty Cathy than Mr. Boba Fett. But so in one of the episodes, when we first meet Cad Bane, it is, let me see, I'm going to see if I can remember this. It's in the season finale of Clone Wars and first season. It's called Hostage Crisis. And he's basically breaking into the Jedi Temple to get a holocron. No big deal.
Sure.
No big deal. But, you know, if you're familiar with the lore of the holocron, he's not a Jedi, and he needs a Jedi to open it. All right. So that's kind of one of the plot points in the little arc that happens. But anyways, he does end up capturing Ahsoka Tano. And in this little exchange, Cad Bane says, because he wants Anakin to open up the holocron. So just to kind of give you context of what's going on here in this little quote.
We don't have much time. Hurry it up, Jedi, or she dies.
No, Master! Don't do it!
I can't let you die, Ahsoka.
Master, no!
We'll deal with the holocron later.
And Cad Bane says, "How touching." So,
Ooh.
yeah. He's all business, man. He don't care, you know.
I suppose if you're going to be a bounty hunter, at some point it's got to be all business.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Another quote that is pretty interesting. He at one point he goes, Cad Bane says,
Young Skywalker. Not so impressive without your lightsaber, are you, Jedi?
So, obviously, Anakin has a tendency to lose his lightsabers, and during the skirmish, lost the lightsaber, and so he's kind of punking out again. He, as I said earlier, he specialized in fighting Jedi. Mm-hmm. He's standing up to the most powerful Jedi, Anakin Skywalker, like nobody's business, right? And kind of punking him out, which I thought is cool. Like I said earlier, I think this is in the hostage one where he's trying to, he does capture a Jedi named, I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Bola Ropola, I think. Pola? I don't know. So basically he's torturing the Jedi.
Okay.
You know? And so he says the following. He's like,
I'm not sure how much more of this he can take.
Are you a medical droid?
No, sir.
Then step back and shut up.
Roger.
More power.
So he means business. Yes. You know, he's looking for his answer.
Well, and I'm already kind of seeing like, okay, so if he is skilled with battling Jedi, that he clearly has an understanding, or he is at least within the quote unquote torturing, learning and understanding the Jedi nature to be the better bounty hunter. I'm already forming ideas of what's happening with this man. Okay. Or alien. Yeah. Or whatever.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah. Man, alien, dude, Duros guy. Yeah. Well, one of the things, like when he takes the job from, our good friend, Darth Sidious, he begins to say,
kidnapping innocent children seems like a small-time crime for the likes of you.
Among the children of the Jedi, there are no innocents.
Sure. As long as I get paid, it makes no difference to me.
Later on in he's dealing with some huts, he says,
I'll take on any job for the right price.
So, I think this is where we didn't really get to talk about this too much, Heather, last week with our good friend Boba Fett. But I think this is a good place to say, we have the dichotomy of, good versus evil. Mm-hmm. But this bounty hunter class, I'm using air quotes, class, brings up a very interesting thing and really kind of ties into kind of real world, is that there's a lot of gray,
Sure.
And so what do you think about this gray area that we explored more in the bounty hunters?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like it's taking on, go with me, people, of the airwaves, this like political side of things. Okay. Where you've got, in our world, we have police officers, and we have an army that fights for our country overseas and has to handle weapons and probably, unfortunately, have to make decisions for the greater good. Or you've got a judge who has to make a hard decision on a court case of, in some capacity. But and so you've got these bounty hunters that obviously it's a very different, because there is being asked to like kill people, but sort of this weird middle ground thing. They're not they're not a true good or a true evil. They're, they live in this middle ground where specifically his line of what was it? Any job for the right price. Correct. I think, he sees and can value, what's worth his time, what's not. potentially a torture versus a full death versus a kidnap versus a whatever, kidnap of a person versus kidnap of a relic, holds different weight. So it's almost they get to play with the scales a little bit more, if you will.
Right.
So definitely seeing it here and seeing a bounty hunter with more lines than we've seen in last week's episode with Sir Fett. You get to see a little bit more of that from him. So I like that Star Wars universe teaches us good versus evil, but then introduces a middle ground where sometimes harder decisions just have to be made.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, we get that first glimpse of like that with Han Solo.
Ooh, for sure.
Yeah. It's like Princess Leia has that real snarky, remark like, if money's all you want, that's what you'll get, and because again, Han Solo's from that lifestyle. Like he's just, he's a smuggler. So he's doing stuff a little bit illegal. So he kind of brings in that kind of real world person. Like, hey, I'm just trying to make money, and stay out of trouble. And obviously with a bounty hunter and what a bounty hunter is, it's like it's a job and somebody's going to pay money to do that. And regardless if it's for the Empire or the Rebels, I'm going to do it for the right price, and he even says that, any job for the right price. So it's like, it kind of brings in this thing where, but they do have a code. Like each one is unique, obviously from a personal perspective. Like, again, like Boba Fett has that Mandalorian culture, which gets explored a lot in the Clone Wars and Rebels. But, Cad Bane is obviously only has his own code. And as Cad Bane's only in like 10 episodes of Clone Wars, but he's a pretty impactful character. And like I said earlier, he specializes in Jedis. And in fact, he killed a Jedi just to torture him, just to try to get the holocron to open. So he can hold his own. And, but he understands the world too. Like he understands how people think, and how, and how to get what he needs to basically get paid. Is useful to be a bounty hunter. If you're going to be successful, you want to get paid,
Absolutely.
But they have codes, like he might not trust people right off the surface, but in one episode in particular, Obi-Wan goes undercover and becomes a bounty hunter, and he kind of works with Cad Bane and through a series of different events, like Obi-Wan saves him a couple times, and like so that at that point Cad Bane returns the favor and there's a trust built there. But it took a couple times before Cad Bane's like, okay, I'm not going to just throw you to the wolves and you're not cannon fodder. Like you actually helped me out, so I'm going to help you out.
Right.
But that doesn't mean like Cad Bane's a nice guy. It just, not by any long shot, but, it's just a really, I personally, that's, one of the things why I like Bounty Hunter so much is just, it kind of brings that real world kind of feel to it. Cause to the universe in Star Wars is because there's just not, it's just not that simple as like, oh, I'm a bad guy and you're a good guy,
right? Right. Absolutely. Well, and I'm sure even in that, in that code that you're talking about, you have to wonder if are there certain people or certain races, for lack of a different word, that they just don't deal with, or is it truly everyone's game? Like if they can pay me, I'm good. Or I don't mind going up against, the evilest of evil or the sweetest of sweetest, what if Boba Fett did a deal for Yoda or, what would that look like? Would that have happened?
It's possible.
You don't know
it's
because
possible.
of that gray area. So I think that's a fun place to explore.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that because obviously I just watched Rogue One, and it's the first time that we see like Cassian. He kind of kills that informant, from Jeddah, just to escape. You're like, whoa, this is not the rebels like we know, and then even when they go to rescue, Jin's dad, the general's like, yeah, just kill him on sight.
Yeah.
So, it's just this kind of interesting, and that's, unfortunately, that's war, and it gets messy.
It does.
It's those lines sometimes get blurred, even though, and that's the thing, like a good guy might say, well, it was a good means to end, but the bad guy would say, well, that's the same thing that I'm doing.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, we get to meet Cad Bane with the holocron heist, and then another thing that he just does, and this kind of ties into the Clone Wars movies that we just saw, was that Zero the Hutt gets captured, and gets arrested because she or he is a bad Hutt, and goes to prison, right? So he gets hired by the Hutts to rescue Zero. Okay. And he captures a group of senators, and one of them happens to be Padme. So he does that, it's like I said, he also has the contract with Darth Sidious to capture that holocron in the Jedi Temple. Faces off with Anakin and Ahsoka. He also kidnaps some children that are sensitive to the Force. No big deal. So there's that. So there's he messes around a lot, and he does pretty good for himself. So there's a couple different episodes, like I said, in the Clone Wars, and you get to see, kidnaps Force sensitive children. He does the heist. Here's some fun quotes from some of these episodes that now in the Senate hostage crisis, Cad Bane says the following to Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, who is also one of the captives. Okay. And, so Darth, this is where it gets a little, duality here. So Darth Sidious is, he is getting played as Palpatine, obviously, because he's the Chancellor, but he kind of knows what's going on. But basically Cad Bane says, finally, he's like, I'm in control. I make the rules now, Right. So like, okay. When he's hunting for Zero in the Hunt for Zero episode, he says, I'm kind of tired being paid for this job too, but not that tired. So, it's like, and he says that to one of the Hutts. It's like, this job is taking longer than I expected, right. But I'm still going to get it done, In the episode where they're in prison, and this is what I was talking about. He's dealing with a bunch of kind of lowlifes, and one of them is Obi-Wan undercover. But he says, it's not the first time I've broken out of this stinkhole. So it basically said, hey, I do prison stuff too. I can break out of prison. No big deal. No big deal, And now Hutta, which is also one of the that's where the Hutts are. He basically says to one of the people, he's like, relax. On this slime pool, everybody's an outlaw. So, and then this is Count Dooku's little tournament in Sereno. He says, so what? Kind of friendly contest you think the court's got us planned? I'd be surprised if we all survive. So he's saying, you know what? This is not, everyone's not going to walk out of this, but we're going to make it happen. So yeah, like I said, only in 10 episodes, but makes a pretty big impact in the Star Wars land. And then
I will say, Todd, real quickly, I love so even just a few of these lines, how much of a narrative, that's the word I'm looking for, that he provides. Like it is conversational, but he's also providing so much like culture laid out for you, like the specifically, tired of being paid for this job, but not that tired. Yeah. So like clearly they're not getting it all accomplished on the first time, but they know they got to get the job done and got to get paid. Not the first time I've broken out of this stink hole. Well, clearly, he's been in prison before. They've been in some scrapes before, so sort of kind of laying out the life of a bounty hunter in just very clean statements.
Yes, exactly. And every job has its risks. Yes. And as you get better in bounty hunter, that's why you're asking for more money, because you know what it takes. And a fun little thing, like he has this little robot guy like called Tito or something like that helps him out when they're breaking into the Jedi Temple. And he's voiced by Seth Green, which if you're not familiar with Seth Green, he does Robot Chicken, and he's gosh, why am I blanking at Austin Powers? What Dr. Evil's son?
Yes,
that's Seth Green. Yeah. Dr. Evil's son. So it's just a fun little dynamic that he has, because again, he's out for himself, but in that episode, he is actually working with other bounty hunters, but he's the lead, and you could tell that he can run a crew, he can run by himself, which also kind of adds that versatility, which is very, interesting and dynamic. But yeah, I mean, again, just those couple quotes, you could kind of see like he means business, and so there you go. And then finally, he does show up in the Marvel Comics in Star Wars Darth Maul. It's set before the events of the prequel trilogy, and he also aids in kidnapping a Jedi Padawan that him and Darth Maul are going after. So he's a big deal.
For
he's
sure.
a big deal, Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm fascinated by bounty hunters, and like I said, like Boba Fett is my favorite, but seeing Cad Bane in the Clone Wars, it just tickles that sweet spot for me. He's got a cool voice, he's got a cool look, and again, anybody that can kind of stand up that's not Jedi but can stand up to a Jedi, I find equally fascinating in this kind of world and context.
For sure. It just makes me think though too, like, do they have like meetings where they like come together as bounty hunters and like, so how was your day at work? And like, oh, well, I was dealing with what, and tax season. Like, what do they talk about? Or like, or are they truly these like loners and they don't have a community?
Well,
I just don't know. It's a whole other world.
Right. And like if some of the role playing games like Star Wars Galaxies and stuff, they have like a bounty hunter guild,
sure.
you as a class would, that has never really been specified, in canon,
okay.
But in a sense, like, again, you got to be, if you're going to be a bounty hunter, you got to, there's still got to be some governance,
right?
Around that. Yeah. I mean, but that's how you build your reputation. If obviously in some respect, I'm again using air quotes, if you're honest and you do a good job, like people would want to have you and not have like our good friend, like Greedo, but you have to make, like you still have to make your mark, like, like, oh, I went after this difficult one. And, like I said last week, like dirty deeds done dirt cheap, it's like you have to kind of get your foot in the door and do these small ones until, you know, that you have that reputation
For sure.
to do some big ones, you know, like infiltrate the Jedi Temple. No big deal.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Like, yeah. At what level do you get the powered boots, and at what point do you get the jetpack?
Right. Exactly.
Is that your 10-year anniversary? Like, when do you get that?
Right. Because that's what I want. You know, that's what I want in, you know, like, yeah, you know, I don't know if I really want to do all that like low life stuff until I get my rocket boots and my jetpack,
Right?
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, I think there has to be somewhat kind of governance under that, you know. So who knows?
Things to think about.
Yeah. Things that keep you up at night, you know, like who do they just answer to the Hutts, you know, or they just, you know, I think, again, I would think there has to be some kind of governance,
Right.
you know, and yeah,
For
so
sure.
there you have it.
Too good.
So anyways, so if you haven't checked it out, go check out Cad Bane. Again, he's kind of end the season 1 and featured in, you know, like I said, only a handful of episodes. But again, his episode, a couple of episodes does tie it into the Clone Wars movie right away. So like we said in the Clone Wars movie, like the Clone Wars in itself, they're not in sequential order, because that's what Star Wars does, you know. So
Because Yoda's in charge of planning it, so it's always never in order.
Right. Backwards we will go, you know. So yeah, exactly. And so yeah, but he's in a couple episodes. Gotta check him out. Very cool look. Got that Western vibe going to him, and he's definitely a cool bounty hunter and a cool character to have in the Star Wars universe.
Excellent.
All right. Moving on to news of the week.
And now, the Star Wars News of the Week.
Heather, what's going on in the news?
Oh, man. So Disney, our good friends at Disney, at both Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios, where our new Galaxy's Edge lands are arriving, we have learned that the Oga's Cantina, Oga, we're going with Oga. Let's go with Oga.
Okay.
Oga's Cantina will be opening within the new land. And just like those crazy cantinas seen in Star Wars A New Hope and Star Wars The Force Awakens, the Oga's Cantina will feature music and exotic drinks of both the alcoholic and non-alcoholic variety. That's right, alcoholic and non-alcoholic variety. I said both.
What?
And they're going to come served in a variety of extraterrestrial vessels, which I'm already super excited to find out what those are. And of course, be a safe haven for smugglers and bounty hunters alike.
Like Cad Bane or Boba Fett?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like Ken Whiting. Apologies, Ken.
Whiting?
A member of the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions Board of Directors.
Wow.
I know that's a mouthful.
Wow. I want that title.
He states, "You never know who you meet in a Star Wars cantina, but now you can find out."
Oh my gosh.
Oh no! I'm so excited. Wait, there's more, Todd. There's more.
Okay. Yep.
So music will be provided by a familiar face, RX-24, the former droid pilot featured in the Star Tours attraction before the 2011 update.
Yes.
So,
he was Rex. Yeah. It's like Captain Rex.
I mean, come on. So we got a Cantina DJ ready to go. We're going to have our really fancy mug vessel holding apparatuses. Who knows what they're going to be shaped like. And so in the first time since the park opened in 1955, alcohol beverages will be sold in the Disneyland park. Though there's been some alcohol available in California Adventure and served in some of the other parks within Disney World. Disneyland specifically will be the first time alcohol will be available. So,
but this is kind of like a major attraction. Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
I'm foreseeing a lot of dry ice.
Yes.
Just with these like intergalactic vessels with dry ice, so it looks like out of this world.
Totally. I just want to know that if I show up at a cantina, if I am willing to wait and pay for the extra fancy table, will a droid come refill my drink?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
These are the questions I have.
Right. I have a feeling though, like when I go, I'm just going to stay in there and not leave. I'm just going to
forget the rest of the parks.
Right. I will just go there, pop a squat, give me all those fancy drinks, and see you in like 8 hours.
For sure.
Especially if like help me out here, Disney.
Yep.
What are they called? Like the Disney people that work there? Like what's their name?
The cast members?
Like the cast members. Like if cast members like are actually dressed up as like Boba Fett and Cad Bane, if like Greedo, like if literally like Greedo walks through the door, I'm just gonna sit down and lay down on the bench and just like
crawl into a fetal position and just start rocking back and forth. I mean, whatever you gotta do, man.
I might pull a Dorothy and be like, "There's no place like home, no place like home," because like I'm home, I'm in my cantina, and it's like.
For sure. You gotta, that's the hope, is obviously for those who've visited a Disney park, whether in California or in Florida, every place that you go, not only visually are buildings changing and the aesthetic of the location, but workers are in different clothing to match the world that you're in. And so I'm just really ecstatic to kind of see what they choose to do for cast members. And just kind of hope, are you going to go and just, are there people willing to be aliens, or are you going to give them weird headpieces? Right. Like,
right.
Where's the commitment level? So
yeah. Well, one of our squad goals should be we should do a live cantina chat in the cantina.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
Where you at? Oh, we're just doing cantina chat in the cantina. Of Ogas or Aga or however you want to say it.
So for sure, so be on the alert. Cantina will have wicked music. Awesome beverages served in extraterrestrial vessels. So summer 2019 is when it will be opening in Disneyland, which for those of you who don't know, Disneyland is California. And then in late fall 2019, Disney World, which is Florida.
Disney World.
So
you're a resident Disney expert, so I appreciate that, It's awesome. All right, so Battlefront 2 updates. We have on August 29th, a new update has come out, and 2 renowned divisions of clone troopers, the 41st Elite Corps and the 327th Star Corps, joined the action of Battlefront 2. So more Clone Wars love coming out, even from EA, so which is kind of cool.
Nice.
So you got that, and the Hangar of Naboo has been added as a map in Blast and Custom Arcade. And the fanfare of it, and we talked about this before, Ewok Hunt is permanently in the operations. Ewok Hunt is... It's where it's at. It's where it's at. Me and Trent play that all the time. If you're not familiar with the 41st Elite Corp, that is the camouflage clone troopers that are stationed on the Battle of Kashyyyk. So they have the armored camouflage, and again, they're the ones that try to drop Master Yoda, but then Yoda like cut off their heads. No big deal. So there's that. The 327th Star Corps have their distinguishing is like they have a yellow armor markings on their appearances, so they kind of have more of a white and yellow kind of look to them, which are kind of cool. But yeah, so a couple updates on that, and there's more Clone Wars Love coming out. There's going to be a 91st Mobile Reconnaissance Corps and the 104th Wolfpack Battalion. If you're not familiar with Wolfpack, they have wolves on their helmet. No big deal.
That's all I got.
Yeah, exactly. Dave Filoni, if you're not familiar, Heather, Dave Filoni loves wolves, and so
good to know.
Got a little. Yeah, good shout out there. General Grievous will be joining in October, and yeah, there's going to be more. Obi-Wan will be joining in November, and some more maps and all that fun stuff. So there's more stuff coming out. Even Count Dooku is going to show up, and Mr. Anakin himself will be showing up in Clone Wars Love. So yeah, there's a lot of Clone Wars Love coming out this fall. But yeah, for it just open up on August 29th, and of course Trent and I have been playing that and loving that. So there you go.
So good.
What else is going on, Heather?
Oh, my nerd friends, it's just getting nerdier. So
it is.
So for those of you who don't know, there's a new Star Wars film coming out, and
what?
I know. So make plans for that. But as you know, new cast members are constantly being communicated with us. And so we have delved into the Doctor Who fandom, and we have acquired Matt Smith.
What?
I know. So now we have a time-traveling Time Lord with a fez. No, bow tie. He's the bow tie guy.
Right. He's bow tie, right?
He's the bow tie,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he is joining with what appears from U.S. Entertainment Trade Magazine Variety, claiming a key role.
That they just decided to add.
Whatever that means. Exactly. All right. He's probably Rey's father, and they've just thrown him in just to keep it nerdy. No, I'm kidding.
Right. Yeah.
So I think we've got with Gleason, who plays Hux. We've got Harry Potter covered.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
We've now got Doctor Who in there. And
last week we added Lord of the Rings. So we've got the trifecta, I feel like. Yeah, well, and then see, that's the other little key part is like the Game of Thrones casting director is also the casting director of Last Jedi, and I believe they're back in episode 9 because there was some Game of Thrones love thrown in there. Obviously, like Captain Phasma for Game of Thrones.
Right. Well, and
there's a couple other.
And Emilia Clarke with Solo is from Game of Thrones as well. So
yes, you're right. Yes. So I feel like Star Wars is exactly where it needs to be. It's like a melting pot of all the different sci-fi, and we're just keep on adding them. It's like. And then we had Simon Pegg from Star Trek and Force Awakens.
Oh, so, good call.
Yeah. So, it's a cornucopia of, like, hey, you've been in a sci-fi film, we need you in, we need you in Star Wars, so there you go.
Exactly. So, yeah.
All right. And
lastly,
I think this is finally, lastly, yeah, so we dropped the episode on Wednesday, and this last Wednesday we got to meet Team Fireball. And you're like, Team Fireball? Yes, this is the new Resistance kind of behind the scenes thing. So I'm going to ask Mr. Aaron to roll the thing.
Team Fireball, they're our core Star Wars group. They're not caught up in the bigger things going on in the galaxy.
I want it to have a sense of childlike fun and adventure.
And what unifies this team is that they need each other. They need to try and win races to survive and make money. And our hero, Kaz, is still coming into his own, and he's a very, very good pilot, but he's still a bit fish out of water when it comes to living in a place like the Colossus.
Nice job, BB-8. All right, This is what I want you to do. I'm Christopher Sean, and I play Kazuda Xiono on Star Wars Resistance. Kaz's job, given to him by Poe, is to spy on the First Order. He's good at flying, but he's not really good at spying.
He's a bit clumsy, gets into trouble here and there, but Kaz is definitely a guy who has a lot of heart and wants to make a difference.
In times like this, I think it's best to keep Kaz occupied. I am Scott Lawrence. I play Jarek Yeager.
Yeager kind of represents the old school. Yeager was a pilot for the Rebellion.
Now he's just trying to live his life as mainly a mechanic on this installation in the middle of nowhere.
And he unfortunately keeps getting pulled back into the action.
Yeager, he's the father figure of Team Fireball, and Kaz causes a lot of trouble and a lot of grief for Yeager.
Get ready to be impressed.
You ready to be impressed, Tam?
I'm completely ready. Hi, I'm Susie McGraw, and I play Tam Rivora on Star Wars Resistance.
Tam is a mechanic who works with Yeager. She was a racer back in the day and lost her ship.
This guy better be paying for this rush job, Yeager. She's tough, no nonsense. She kind of has attitude.
She also has a lot of heart and passion. She wants to have a purpose in life.
She's incredibly brave. She cares about people, but she likes to keep her emotions kind of to herself. Kaz, this is Niku.
It is so nice to meet you.
Niku's a bit of an oddball.
You know, I am starting to like having adventures. I find that it raises my heart rate, which is good for my circulatory system. Hi, I am Josh Brunner, and I play Niku on Star Wars Resistance.
He's a genius. He's very naive, but he's got a huge heart.
He is this unbelievably positive, happy Nikto character. No matter what kind of day you're having, Niku is having a great day. I once had a pet named Lucky that reminded me of home, and then it died. And then I ate it.
We made the show for a younger audience. I think they'll love the relationships between the characters and all the lightheartedness. It's unique in tone, unique in look. It's a completely different package.
It's very action-packed and vibrant and colorful, and you have lots of different pilots and ships and the different settings. I wish I had a show like this when I was growing up.
Whoa!
I've
That
got
was
nothing.
You got nothing. Yeah, so this is like, again, we're seeing a little bit more footage of Resistance, which is great. And then we have like Dave Filoni and a bunch of other producers and voice actors kind of talking about what they are, who they are. So here we go. So Christopher Sean, Days of Our Lives, as, again, I don't know how to say these Star Wars names. I'm horrible. I'm just going to say Kaz, because that sounds good. Kaz, yeah. Then we meet, let's see, Susie McGrath, who's from EastEnders, is another thing, as Tam. And then Scott Lawrence as Legion, he's from Legion. Yep. And from Legion, and he plays Jarek Yeager, which is he's kind of the old man on the floor, because there's a lot of hotshot pilots. And then Mima Velasco, is playing Tora. And then Josh Bernan, Silicon Valley, as Niku, which he looked pretty cool. And then Donald.
Good, man. You got it. You got it.
I could do it. From Scrubs, he's playing Hype Fazin.
Of course he is.
Of course he is. I mean, that's such a great name. Who are you? I'm Hype. Jim Rash from Community, and Bobby from DuckTales, Bobby
Moynihan.
I
think he's also from SNL. If that's
no way.
If that's the Bobby Moynihan that I'm thinking of,
yeah. As Flicks and Orca, Oscar Isaac is back.
Sure.
As Poe Dameron. Gwendolyn Christie, our Game of Thrones, Captain Phasma, and then as we kind of talked about, Rachel Butera, Tammy's Tiny Tea Time. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds fantastic. There's 4 T's in it, and I love it. Is playing General Leia Organa.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it's jam packed. It's kind of cool. It's all good. And, so we get to meet Dave Filoni, kind of gives his little spiel. Athena Portillo?
Portillo's. Sorry.
Yeah, Portillo's beef sandwich. Clone Wars, Star Wars, Rebels, Justin Ridge, Clone Wars and Rebels. So, Brandon Uman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hey, if he's doing Turtles, it's all good. Mm-hmm. And then Amy Beth Christensen is the art director. So,
lovely.
So there's a lot of love and some veterans that have been been hanging with Dave Filoni for a little bit, and Dave Filoni's kind of pulling George in this behind the scenes thing. He's kind of wearing flannel, and I'm just like, dude, he's channeling his inner George with the flannel going on. I'm like, this is great. You can't beat it. So again, Star Wars Resistance, 1 hour premiere Sunday, October 7th at 10 p.m. Eastern Pacific time. So there you go. It's going to be on the Disney Channel, Disney Now, Disney Channel, VOD. So yeah, check your local listings, all that kind of fun stuff. Obviously, this is coming out before Disney Play with that lame name, but it's going to be it's definitely geared for a younger audience, but I still think there could be something for everything, everyone in here. But some people are like, it's a cartoon, I'm not gonna, and if since Aaron's not here, he's probably gonna watch it 7 years from now.
Probably.
So we'll get there. But it's interesting on the old Twitter this week. I was kind of looking through, and I kind of talked about this when I first saw it with Aaron the other week, Heather, and I think that was when you had a night off, but it kind of has this look of Robotech, and Robotech is this old, it's a Japanese anime, but then of course we Americanized it and took like 3 different animes from Japan and put it together to make Robotech. So that's what we do here in America. It's like, we'll just copy this and make it, dub it over American and make it our own. But it's called Robotech. I was like, yeah, this has a very familiar feel to it. And Swankmatron from Full of Sith, he wrote this article for I think it was for I'm trying to think which one he wrote it for, but I think it was Sci-Fi or whatever, but it says how classic anime seems to have inspired Star Wars Resistance, and it's all about Robotech. And I'm like, yes, that's what I was saying. It looked like Robotech. So obviously Dave Filoni is of my generation and our generation, Heather, but he loved Robotech, and you could definitely see that kind of influence and look in Star Wars Resistance. So I'm super excited
Very
for
cool.
that. So yeah, October 7th, it's coming. It's happening. Star Wars Resistance. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, check out that trailer, because the audio's good, but visual is better too as well. So there you have it. All right, that's it for the news of the week. How about, Heather, we wrap this one up?
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks again for listening to another episode of WSTR Galactic Public Access. Once again, you can check us out on the social media at WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase. We want to hear from you, so comment, tweet, rate us on iTunes. You can email us like Carla G at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. Leave us a voicemail, and we will play that in an upcoming podcast. You can catch all our back catalog of episodes at www.wstrmedia.com. It's like 4 W's. Media. It's in there.
They're
something
all
like that.
Important W's though.
They're all important W's. You need all those W's. We have merch. You can check that out at teespring.com/WSTR Media -TEE, not tea as what you drink, but like a T-shirt.
Right.
So check that out. Help support the podcast. We would greatly appreciate it. Heather,
Yes.
you're not going to believe this.
Okay, I'm sitting.
But yeah, okay. So next week, I'm going to talk Star Wars. I know.
What?
It's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy.
I should start studying.
Right, exactly. But we just love these bounty hunters. So it is episode 88, and there's only one person we could talk about, and that is IG-88 from Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we gotta play with the numbers here. It's just it's right there. It's right there for the taking. IG-88 for our 88th episode. So can't wait to break that down as well. So that's what's going to happen. I hope it happens. Maybe, but unless there's like another casting announcement that we...
Is there a nerd fandom we haven't covered yet?
Right. Wait, did we forget somebody? Like, oh no, we need this, we need somebody from this franchise to come over. But yeah, I mean, Heather, they've been filming episode 9 for a month now.
Oh,
can you believe that?
It's crazy.
It kind of, I just keeps me up at night. Like, that's all new Star Wars content that is just being filmed.
That means
I can't
there are ships and weapons and costumes and droids and aliens that we know nothing about.
Nothing about. And we're going to get more porgs that we know what to do with. I don't know, Are the porgs like hanging out on the Falcon still? I mean, these are things that I need to know.
Are we going to get more crystal foxes?
Can they? Yeah. Did they like take one of the crystal foxes like from crate and just said, "Hey, why don't you come on the ship?"
Yeah.
Or
he stowed away. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah. You don't know. Like these are things that like keep me up at night. Like I need to know what's happening. But yeah, a whole month already. And then they're like, announcing actors like, oh yeah, major role. I'm like, oh, are they just like, are they saying, hey, we need to add somebody like right here and it's going to be amazing.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. So, all right. There's only one way to end this, Heather.
All right.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. Now, this is podcasting. Yay. We did it.
We did it.